It's not that I'm short. It's, oh, it's just that. All right. So, what we're going to talk about today is 2-point perspective. And for 2-point, I'm sure you're going to love it. People prefer it to 1-point because you only get 2 choices. You either use the left vanishing point or the right one, and nothing else. Nothing else really that you need. So we have our room will be in 2-point, and you see how the wall appears to be getting larger as it comes closer to us. We know it isn't. It's just that old thing about sizes diminish with distance. So, and the table, you see we're looking into the corner of the room, we're looking into the corner of the table, but our chair isn't. Our chair is the way we've been drawing ever since the beginning of term. It's facing us. One whole side of it is facing us. So this is in 1-point perspective. And I'll show you how the two of them work together. And if you look around the room you're in, I'm sure you'll spot lots of things that are either facing you completely or that you're looking into a corner of them. And in any given room, you might have things at a million different angles. So this is how they live together happily. We'll look at that today. So here's another example. This you see is straight on. That's supposed to be a straight horizontal line. But the room itself is in 2-point perspective. We're looking into the corner of the room, the corner of the desk, the table. See? So that's the difference. And that's what makes it exciting to look at a perspective. We have our floor plans and our elevations, but the perspectives have the best chance of having our client feel as if they're in the space. Okay, so in this chair, the side of it is facing us squarely, so it's in 1-point. But the desk, we're facing the corner, so it's in 2-point, and so is the room. Okay, so now how do we get there? This is going to be a review, in a way, of what we did for our template. And we're going to make ourselves a little 2-point grid, and I'm going to give you some measurements. Now, the measurements are based on you're using a paper that's 11 by 14 inches. So if you need to tape 2 pieces of printer paper together and measure out 11 by 14, do that so that you can use the measurements I'm going to be giving you. All right, so you all set to go? Everybody's ready to go? You got your pencil crayons? We'll use pencil crayon. Now, the first measurement from the left-hand side of the paper, since no one said no, I'm just going to keep going. Is everybody all right for me to keep going?
Miss, which type of paper are we supposed to do this on?
The sketchbook that's 11 by 14.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Question? No? Okay, so I'm going to get started now. So, from the left-hand side of the paper, we're going to put this in the Padlet today. So, however far we get, we don't want to go too long so you have room for your, to some studio time to work on your assignment, put your finishing touches on, hopefully. So, now, the first measurement I'm going to give you is 7 inches. So, from the left-hand side of the page, measure in 7 inches. Good so far? Now, turn your ruler vertically, right at that spot. Measure down from the top 2 1/4 inches, not 2 1/2, 2 1/4. So 2 1/4, 7 from the edge. And then you want a line from that 2 1/4 inch down 3 1/2 inches. So go from there as 1, 2, 3 1/2 inches. Okay, this is going to be our corner measuring line. So that's going to be the line for the corner of our room. Here it's been cropped off, but it was longer and it was here. Okay.
Can you just say the measurements one more time?
Sure. So 7 inches from the left-hand side of the paper and 2 1/4 down from the top. And the line itself is 3 1/2 inches. Now, another thing you can do, and this is really helpful, is if the edges of your paper are straight, you can put a set square. I would tape your paper down. I think it's a little awkward to do in the sketchbook, but if you're having no problem with it, keep on going. If you use your set square like this, you can run your other set square along like this to make horizontal lines. You can put it at the base of your paper and make vertical lines that are straight. So, whoopsie, see? It makes a difference. There we go. Alrighty. Now, we're going to do this thing again. I'm sure you'll all remember. I'm hoping you all remember. But do you remember with our last assignment, when you made your templates, you took the top of the measuring line and made a horizontal. Keep this really quiet. Don't make it dark. Make it very quiet. Just a very light line. We're using our colored pencils so that we can draw in black pen over top. Another quiet line. So this line should measure 3 1/2 inches all the way along. It might be hard to see mine. I'm trying to keep it very quiet. I can't tell you how many times I use this. This is really handy. So kind of get a feel for it, because I think you're going to need it every so often. All right. Now, you'll all remember this trick we had where we want to make 8 increments here. But this doesn't measure. It's 3 1/2 inches. It doesn't, how am I going to get an 8 out of that? Well, you all should remember how now. Should be embedded in your memory and your nightmares now. Turn your ruler between those 2 horizontal lines until you have something divisible into 8 parts. All right, so I'm turning mine to 4 inches. I'm trying to keep my big fat head out of the way here. And I'm going to use 1/2 inches. So there's my first half, my second. And I'm sorry if you're not familiar with using feet and inches, but it's... All right, so I've got my 8 parts. I'm just going to use my set square to bring my 2 set squares, to bring those measurements over to my measuring line. And be as accurate as you can. Now what I'm hoping for is a 45-degree perspective, in that if my page is truly 14 inches wide, then I have my middle line in the middle of my page. So I should have my vanishing points when I put them on will be the correct equal distance from each other. That may not mean anything. Yes?
Are you doing those lines in 1/2 inches or?
No, I turn my ruler. I don't know what they measure. I turn my ruler to 4.
Oh, and then you just did like 8 parts?
Yeah. Yeah, the same way that we did for our templates. You remember?
Miss, does the ruler have to be at the top left corner though?
No, you can put it anywhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Thanks for the question, you guys. It helps. Everybody's good? Now, we're going to construct our walls. See, here's our corner. We just have that now. We need the walls, and we need to know how much wider are they going to get out here, or appear to get. They're not, you know, but they are. See, if I look at the door that's there, I know it's 7 feet tall, it has to be. But right now it's no taller than my pen. So that's ridiculous. I know it's bigger. But if I were to know where I know where my eye level is, if I could find my vanishing point, I know it's right there, then I would know how to draw that, how big to draw it on a piece of paper. Okay, so you've got that. Now we need a horizon line, because as you know, the vanishing points, even in 2-point, are always on the horizon. So let's number these, guys. So this is 0 at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so you've got 8. And we're going to put our eye level again at 5 feet. So I'm going to place my set square at the edge of my paper, line my other set square up with 5 feet, and I'm going to draw along all the way across my page. It won't fit all the way, but I'm going to push it.
Just say Miss.
Did you have a question?
Yeah, Miss, can you slow down a little bit?
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Where are you?
I'm just still drawing the lines on the side, the numbers.
Alrighty. Did someone else have a question? So you know how to do it, right? You just divide it in here. Are you using your 2 set squares, Emma?
Yeah, I'm using them. It's just like I'm a little slow at it since I'm not that good.
Oh, okay. We're all a little slow at times, me included. Oh, look at this instead. How's everyone doing?
I'm good.
Oh, excellent. Okay. Okay, that's good. So anybody, if I missed your attendance, just send me a quick email and I'll make sure that I got you. Now the next thing to do is to put our vanishing points on. So we need 2 because we have sides that diminish on both sides. See, here we've only got one plane that diminishes in size. See, this leg is so much shorter than this one. It's not, but it looks at it as if it is. Here we've got 2 sides that diminish because we're looking into a corner. So this part of the table appears smaller than this part that's closer to us, and this part appears smaller than this part that's closer to us. And we need to know how to find that accurately, and so we need vanishing points. So let's put one way over as far as you can to the left, and we'll call it the left vanishing point, left VP. And we'll put the other one as far over to the right as we can, and we'll call it our right VP, RVP. So that's what we're going to use, those 2 vanishing points, to draw anything that we're looking into the corner of. Now, the things that are face on need a vanishing point too. So you remember when we drew the geometric shapes, we had to have a vanishing point there. So this one, in this situation, is located here, right on the eye level. Vanishing points are always on the eye level, and it's at 5 feet because we're making an average height. We're making it average height. It's a nice height because in a floor plan, and have some scrap paper, on a floor plan, that's what it is. It's as if you were to cut the room in half at 5 feet and hover over everything equally, all at the same time. So in doing this, we're making an average height for a person to be viewing the room. And what this means is that if we were to draw ourselves, here's where we would be standing. Right there, looking into that corner of the room. Right outside the room, looking into that corner. And what we would see is this wall and this wall. So that's how it's going to go. Now, take your left vanishing point and draw your right wall. So line your set square up with your left vanishing point and 0 and draw. Don't start drawing though until you get to 0. So that's your floor on the right hand side, on the right wall. Line your left vanishing point up with 8 feet, and that's your ceiling line for your right wall. Okay? Everybody good? No?
Sorry, can you do the one that you just did again, please?
Okay. You're going to align your left vanishing point up with 8 feet right at the top of your measuring line. Just line them up and just draw. Draw a line. Now, you know what confuses people, and I really understand it. You've got these set squares. These are 30/60s. And everybody thinks, okay, I'm drawing degrees and angles here. Surely I could use one of these angles. It doesn't work that way. You have to use your vanishing points to draw them. It would be nice if it would be, there is actually a drawing style. It's more of a drafting style, and they're beautiful. They're isometrics, parallel line drawings. And they look like perspectives, but they're not, because they don't diminish in size like this, but they're really quite lovely. I don't know if you get to do those in drafting. I'll have to ask. All right. Is everybody good now with their wall?
Yep.
Yay. Okay. Now we're going to do the left wall with the right vanishing point. So here we go. We're lined up with 8. And there we go. And now on the floor, I'm lined up with 0 again. And I'm going this way. So look how big that got. From that distance to that distance, it got that big. And without the vanishing points, we'd have no way to guess what it would look like. So they're very handy. Oh, you're gonna love the next part. Everybody ready for the next part? You're dreading it? It's not that bad. You'll recognize it. You've done it before. 3 times. You're going to take 2 feet. You guessed it. You're going to take 2 feet from your measuring line and turn them sideways and put them here. Okay? So I took 2 feet from here and put them here. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so 2 feet. And I'm going to use my 2 set squares again. I don't know if this would be accurate enough for drafting. You could ask your drafting teacher. I don't know if everybody has a drafting table. You know what we're going to do this time? I think what we'll do, so here's 2 feet on this wall, approximately 2 feet. Now I've got 2 feet on this wall. But you'll recall when we did our templates, we needed to know what half the wall height was all along here and all along here. Now this you have to do very quietly. It cannot be a big heavy line, but it's got to stand out. So half of 8 is 4. So we're going to use our right vanishing point to bring 4 feet all along this wall. Very lightly, and we'll take 4 feet and go all along the right wall using our vanishing point. I'm going to make my horizon line look even more obvious so that 4-foot line doesn't get in the way. Now you might be wondering, why don't these increments line up with my measuring lines here? Well, that's because these are all the same measure and these aren't. As they come forward, they're not. They're getting bigger. That's why. If anybody was wondering, I always wondered about that, so I wasn't sure. How's everyone doing?
Miss, I just had a question.
Mm-hmm.
How did you angle those last lines?
Oh, you mean here where I measured?
No, you know how you put on 4?
Yeah.
How did you angle it?
I used my vanishing point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's the same. Yeah. You don't have to guess at anything. It's great. And you see how this is the same one I used for the floor. The same vanishing point. So anything I put on that wall, I would use the right vanishing point to draw it. Now, you'll all recall this. I'm hoping everybody recalls. Remember how we go from 0 through half the height of the wall, which is 4, and hit the top line, hit the ceiling line, and that'll give us our next 2 feet. We're going to go 2 feet at a time and then go back and break it up. I think it's less confusing that way. It's more straightforward.
Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get the points on the green line on the ceiling?
Oh.
What vanishing point did you use?
I went from 0 through 4 feet, and then yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you remember when you did the template? How we did it there? No? So now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go from the previous one through 4 feet. And we're keeping a quiet drawing. Everybody's keeping it quiet, right? So it doesn't get too heavy, so we can see all the rest of our lines that are coming. They're coming. Okay, there's 2 more. And it's good to get in the habit of not drawing the intervening line, because now if you want a record of how you did this, you could do it just lightly, so that later on, if you ever wanted to do this again. Now, it's a little unfortunate, but you don't do another course like this until September. So there is a little bit of a, so here I am at the bottom again, going through 4, and I'll go straight up onto the ceiling. So I end up with 2, 4, 6, 8 feet on this wall. Possibly 9, we'll see. Now I'm going to go back and divide. When you're dividing, try to make the one that's closest to us just slightly, ever so slightly, bigger than the previous one. That way it looks more in perspective.
Miss, how did you get the last line? Because when I put it, it's not like angled in the right direction to line up with the ceiling.
Oh, you go from the previous, have you got this part?
Yeah.
And then you go through 4 feet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Did you put this in perspective, the 4 feet?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it should be good.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Everybody else okay? Everybody's good?
I'm actually having the same issue as Emma.
Uh-huh.
Like when I'm lining it, it's not, I can't do the last line.
Oh, is it off your page?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, me too. I have same problem.
I mean, it's an 11 by 14 sketch piece of paper though, so I don't know where I went wrong.
Oh, you know what you might do? Just do 1 foot. So,
Okay.
yeah, from the previous one, just do 1 foot.
Okay.
Miss, I actually have the spacing between the last line that you made an edge of the paper. It's not the same that I got. It's a little lesser.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah,
That's okay.
I made a construction error.
I think it's gonna be okay. You know why? Because we're just doing kind of an estimated perspective. If we all had set squares and parallel rulers and, you know, all that equipment, then we'd all have probably closer to the same, but never exactly the same. Because there's thickness to the pencil as well. So yours, you might be a more generous person and you put more on, so your lines are maybe a little thicker, a little thinner, little things like that. That won't matter. As long as you have the concept, Viddy, that's all that matters, just the concept.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for the questions, everybody. It's really helpful. It's kind of fun, isn't it? Seeing all this kind of come together, everything. Now, see, I wouldn't have another foot, but if I wanted to send just a single foot over here, I would just go back 1 rather than 2, and then it would be, see, it would be over here for me, way off the page. So, and I don't really need it, not for today. Now, you'll be excited to know we are going to do it on the other side.
Can I show you mine really quickly?
Okay, hold on. Hold on. I can spotlight you. Oh no, I can't, because I'm in this mode.
So I can't open my camera?
No, it's just I was gonna spotlight you. I learned how.
Oh.
But I don't think I can. You know what? Hold it up. I'll see if I can see.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just think that like mine are really. Can you see?
Oh, I can. I can.
You see how like it's not as wide as yours from here?
Are they not getting wider, Maya?
No, I don't know why. I did exactly how you did it.
It looks like you have. Yeah, you've got your 4 feet is in perspective.
It's just not like reaching all the way up here.
It's not going to the ceiling?
Like from here, it's not like this is empty.
Oh, you can keep making more, but they should be getting wider. Are you doing it like this? Let's do it on this side. You haven't done this
Okay.
side, so let's do it on this side.
Okay,
So-
I'll try that.
You've got your 4 feet, right?
Mhm.
Now, go from 0 and you go from 0 through 4. You're using 4, right?
Yep.
And see where it hits the ceiling.
Let me try this again.
Yeah. And when it hits the ceiling, that's 2 feet. See, mine's getting bigger.
So then for the next one, would you just do it starting from the end? Yeah, and then through the 4?
Yep.
Oh, I'm doing exactly that. I don't know why it's not.
I don't know. Because you look as if you've got the 4 feet in perspective. Is your ceiling line correct?
It is, yeah.
You started from the left vanishing point through 0?
Mm-hmm.
I can't explain that. Are these getting bigger?
It actually is getting bigger now.
Oh, okay. It's the other wall that's vexing you.
Yeah. Is that okay though?
No,
The other wall, like how it is that gonna work out?
no. We have to
Oh,
fix
it's not. Okay.
it. We have to fix it. So here's this now. Through 4. It's gotta be, there's gotta be some reason. I don't know though what it could be. So 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4. Wait a minute. 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, so I got 8.
Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
How do you divide the lines on the left side?
Oh, you do it by eye, Janissa. So what I'm trying to do is here's 2 feet, right? So
Yeah.
I'm trying to make the one that's closer to me just slightly bigger than the one behind.
Okay,
Yeah, that's because they're getting bigger, so yeah.
that
It-
makes sense.
yeah. It's never gonna be perfectly accurate. We could have just taken 1 foot all the way along. Probably would have been more accurate, but more time consuming. And I figure you guys have had enough of this kind of thing to last you for a while. Over the break. Anyway, I don't want to push it too far. How's it looking now, Maya?
It looks here. I'll just put my camera on one more time.
Okay.
Miss, for the lines in between, are you just guessing?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, the one side is getting bigger, but the other one isn't. I don't know.
This is the bad side.
Yeah, it's not getting bigger.
Should I just keep going?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that.
Or you could put a piece of paper over it and try again.
Mhm.
Just on that side. It has to be your floor or ceiling line, you know? If you're doing the rest right, it has to be the floor or the ceiling line.
Yeah.
Can you do that? Can you check your floor and ceiling line with your
Mhm.
right vanishing point?
Okay. And it's on 8, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, line it up with your right vanishing point with 0, and then line up the ceiling at 8 with your right vanishing point.
No, yeah, it's perfect.
Good Lord, I don't know. Mine aren't getting that much bigger, but the one that's closest to me, I'll measure it, and then I'll tell you what mine measures.
Okay.
Mine measures about 1¼ inches, maybe slightly less. This one here, about 1¼ inches, or what-
Sorry, which one is it?
this one right here. It measures about 1 and 1, 2, 3, about 1 3/16.
Okay, mine is. Oh, it's like 1.5.
Oh,
almost.
it got really big.
Mhm.
Maybe it's right. Maybe it's correct what you have.
Hmm.
Well, it's getting bigger because measure now the one back here. The one back here for me is only not even half an inch. A little tick.
Yeah, almost an inch too.
I'm almost an inch.
Sorry, almost half an inch. Sorry.
Then yours is right.
I guess it is right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep going and see how it looks.
Alrighty. I think that's the only thing we can do. We've checked everything else. I mean, yeah, it's funny. It didn't appear that way in the camera, but then, you know, I was expecting it not to. So maybe that was it. How about everybody else? Are they getting bigger as you come forward?
Mine's are getting bigger,
Yeah?
but on the left side, what happens is they're not getting bigger uniformly.
Oh, you mean you have a small one out here?
Let me show you.
Okay.
It's like they are. It's just that I don't feel that they're going in the right rhythm or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll just turn on the
it could be your estimates. Do you think maybe it's your estimates? I can sort of see. You know what it might be? It might be your estimates, Biddy. You might be, when you divide up 2 feet, maybe you're making the front part too much larger than the back part.
But yeah, maybe. Like,
Maybe. It's kind of hard for me to see.
Oh,
For some
okay.
reason, yeah. So,
it's a little bit dark in here.
yeah, maybe that's why. That can happen. So you just have to, it's just experience, you know, being used to doing that. So do your
Oh, okay.
best. Yeah, kind of do your best that you can do. And we'll know for next time. Yeah, that's,
perfect.
I think that's what it has to be. Yeah, I don't get an extra foot on either side, but someone might. So that might happen. Alrighty, so now we got all these things, we gotta label them. We have to put what they are. So this now is 1 foot, and I'm not gonna count it loud. Oh, I only have 8. Okay. Okay, so I've got 8 feet on this side and 8 feet on that side. 8 cricket feet. Now, if you're ready for the next part, we can start now to bring all of these increments from the left wall out onto the floor. So just where these increments meet the floor, where your numbers are, use your right vanishing point and just lightly, ever so lightly, bring them out onto the floor. Bring them forward. I think your mic is still open, Vidhi, in case there's something you don't want us to hear. I think. Okay, and then once you're there, you can start now with the left vanishing point and bring all of those increments across. And what I want you to notice is that the ones that look truly square are way back in the corner, but they get distorted. We have a 60-degree cone of vision. And outside of that, things begin to get distorted. But every box on here is going to measure a foot by a foot. Believe it or not, we're going to count it as a foot by a foot. Now, next, after the break, we're going to start on our final assignment, and you're going to need the grid. If you didn't get the kit, then you're going to need to get a printout of that file. And I put it in Slate Contents, and I put the file in the announcements as well. So you'll have to take it to Staples and get them to print it out for you. Now, we're going to start on the wall. Now, in your kit, maybe on the break someone could look for me and make sure you got them. You should have an envelope, a manila envelope, that contains all your grids.
Actually, we didn't get them in an envelope, but they are just stapled together, all of them.
Oh, excellent. But you got them.
Oh, yes.
Excellent. That's excellent. So you'll be all ready. We can start when we get back. So now with these lines, we can size pretty much anything out onto the floor. Now I don't usually put them on the ceiling. You could do it the very same way. I don't usually, because it's really hard when we're doing something as estimated as this for the floor and the ceiling to jive. It's very challenging. So if we need, we'll put a light source up there, but we'll do it manually without gridding it up. I'll show you how when we get there. So how's everybody doing?
Good.
Good. That's good. Now, we're going to put in our boxes for our table, our desk, and our chair, and then we're going to stop so you can work on your assignment, do some finishing touches if you need to do that. So, we're going to put our desk 1 foot away from the wall on either side. So, right here in the corner, 1 by 1, so here we are. I'm going to come forward 3 boxes. So I'm going to come out to 4. So I've got my right vanishing point lined up. And I know I have that line there, but I don't rely on it. I use this vanishing point. Now, once I have the side of the desk, the table, I'm going to do the back using the left vanishing point because it's against the right wall, so I should draw it the same way. Now, I'm going to come down to 7 because I'm going to have a 6-foot desk. So, I'm 1 foot away from the wall. I'm on either side. I've come forward 3 feet, and I've come 6 feet this way. That puts me at 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And I can do the front. down to 7. Now, this is the way I like to start on a grid, is to map everything out as if I was drawing a floor plan.
Excuse me. How did you get the lines on the walls, like the left and right?
Oh,
Like
you
the-
go through these increments. Your feet, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that way, see how they're getting angling less and less, and at the eye level it becomes straight. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So now there's the box for our. But if you want to catch up on this box, Janissa, you can leave the walls for now and just catch up on the box.
Okay, then I'll do that.
Yeah. So we went 1 foot away from both walls, and we put 6 feet for our table and 3 feet coming forward. Now, this is going to be a little bit different. It's our 1-point perspective chair. So we have to do this differently. Now, I want my chair to tuck under the table. So I'm going to put it. This is something that's interesting. You see how at this point, find 3 on the left wall. Everybody got 3 on the left wall?
Yeah.
Okay, then come forward 1, 2, 3, 4 and put a dot. And then with a straight line, come over to the other corner. That's 1.5 feet. Here, see, that's 1.5 feet. Approximately. Now we've got to go another 1/2 foot. So if you divide this into 3, put another 1/2 foot. Did it bisect your box right in half like this? A straight line?
Yes.
Yay! That's what it's supposed to do. Because this is 45-degree perspective. See, if we were looking at the floor plan, this would be a 45-degree angle. Now, take one of those thirds. Now, this isn't as complicated as I'm making it. I'm just, make it a little bit too complicated. Here we go. So now we've got 1/2 foot, 1/2 foot, 1/2 foot, 1/2 foot. 4 halves equals a whole. So this is 2 feet. Okay, that's 2 feet. From this corner of this box to this corner, there's 1.5. Another 1/2 equals 2. Does anyone need me to show that again? You followed that, you guys? Because that was confusing. So, to find this corner, you go find 3 on this wall. Go 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's 4 and 3. It's like the coordinates on a map. Make a mark. When you get to the other side of that square is 1.5 feet. This is 1 foot. This is 1 foot. This diagonal is 1.5. Then you divide that into 3, so you know what another 1/2, we have to add another 1/2. Okay? So I did it anyway, whether anybody wanted me to or not. Now, this is our 1-point perspective, remember? At 5 feet, that's our 1-point vanishing point. So you're just going to line that up with the 2 sides of the line you just made, that you just measured for 2 feet. And you're going to draw a line. We don't know how far to come forward, so we're just coming forward. And we're going to do the same over here. Now, by putting it inside here, It means that our chair, I'm talking very loudly, I must be excited. I don't think I have an example of that. But what it means is that our chair is going to be tucked under the empty space in the desk. Okay? That's what we've done there. Now, to come forward 2 more feet, let's do this. Let's use this one, this box. Now this doesn't line up for me anymore because they're distorted. So I'm just going to make it straight. So I came forward now to the next box. Everybody see that? So there's 1.5. I'm just going to go to there. Did everybody see? I'm getting worried now. No one's saying yes.
Yes.
Yay. Okay. So now our chair is 2.5. No, it's 2 feet by 1.5 feet. Because I'm using the diagonal line premise on a 45-degree angle. Isn't it strange? Our desk looks very small and our chair looks very large. And there's really not that much difference. But if you look at the difference in the size of the boxes, they are much bigger. Is everybody ready to measure the desk now?
Yeah, Miss, the second line, you drew it just horizontal. That's it, right?
That's exactly it. I found though,
Okay.
you know what I found though, Didi? That I couldn't line the 2 corners up because they're getting distorted now. I should have been...
Oh, okay. That's what
Yeah.
I was worried about because mine was getting distorted and I thought that I made a big mistake.
No, it's just that we're getting out of the cone of vision. Doesn't that sound like a science fiction thing? We're in the cone of vision. Yeah, so I just made it as straight as I can make it. I should have done it. Woo. Oh dear. I don't think I'm very straight here. Okay, that's better. Now we're going to measure our table. We're going to make it 2.5 feet, just an ordinary table height, not a especially high desk or anything. So to do that, hopefully everybody recalls now that we have to measure against the wall. So we're going to go to 7 feet, which is convenient. We're going to go to 7 feet. And we're going to go up 2.5. That's right, 24 and 6 is 30 inches. 1, 2.5. And I have to bring 2.5 feet over, but I don't have any verticals, so I won't know what to bring it to. So I've got to put my verticals up. So on the 4 corners of your table, draw your vertical lines. We don't know how tall to make them, so just make them go up. And crossed corners are actually more accurate. So rather than bringing up a line to the exact measurement, which would seem a little more sane, then we're not. Oh no, the back corner of my table is lining up with my measuring line. If yours doesn't, you're very lucky. And if it doesn't, don't worry. It's just a little different than mine. The one I did in the morning didn't at all. So I don't know. The only thing that can explain it is the thickness of the lines, a little bit off here and there. So here's 2.5. I measured at 1, 2.5. I have to bring it over though, because you know how So I've got my right vanishing point lined up with 2.5, and I'm going to put it here. Now, once you have this, you have everything you need to draw the rest of the table, because you just have to use your left vanishing point to bring it along to the next vertical. So there's my next vertical. Look how much smaller that appears than the part that's closer to us. It's crazy. And now, once I hit
I have a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
For that line across the desk, did you line that up with the left vanishing point?
That's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you. Yes, the questions really help, so ask, please ask. Yes, so I got that 2.5 from the wall. When I hit a vertical, I go the other way. And then when I hit a vertical over here, I go the other way. Something that's really important to notice is that this is 2.5 feet, but if I look at the wall, that's 2 feet. But you see, it has nothing to do with this. Nothing at all, because it's a foot away. So it's smaller because it's a foot away. This is larger because it's a foot forward. Now here's my thing. Oh heck, it lined up with my corner. And then now we just have to join these two using my left vanishing point. What do you think so far of 2-point perspective?
It's a little meticulous, but it's fun to draw.
Oh, excellent. And also, do you find it easier than 1 point? A little easier to understand? Yeah, a lot. It's a bit easier. Because you can only do 2 things, right? You go left or you go right. That's it. Has everybody caught up? Now, we have to do the same with our chair, and our back is going to be over here. So let's bring it up. We don't know how tall, but we're going to bring it up anyway. And bring up all 4 of your corners. Okay. Now, we don't have it. See how the table was sitting right on one of our perspective lines? This side doesn't, this doesn't. So we have to bring it back to the wall. So I'm just gonna take this with my left vanishing point. There's no guessing here, which is kind of nice. And now when I hit the wall, I'm gonna go straight up. And the height of the seat of this chair is 1.5 feet. So
What's the last line that you made?
this one?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I took the corner of my chair and I brought it back to the wall using the left vanishing point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that way I can measure it, because I only have the measurements on the wall to go by. And I'm going to go up 1.5 feet. Then I'm going to bring 1.5 feet over. I'll put little dotted lines and put a little mark here. That's 1.5 feet over. And now I'm going to I need a horizontal line there because I'm in 1 point. Remember, we're in 1 point here, so I have to do this. Now, I have 4 lines, 4 verticals here. How do I know which ones I'm looking at now? I'm looking at the ones that jive with this front line. Okay, so these come from the front. So when I draw that horizontal line, I'm drawing it between them because they're at the front. And my measurement is for this front. Okay, so that's how I know. And now I'm going to use this and draw to the back.
Sorry, how did you get the line across the chair?
There?
Yeah.
It's parallel to this, perfectly parallel. So
okay.
yeah,
So after the 1.5, you just did a parallel.
Yes,
across it. Okay.
that's right. I used my set squares and did it parallel across.
A parallel, the two line.
Yes, yes,
base.
they're parallel. So I used my 2 set squares. Thank you for the questions, everybody. Yeah, see? Yeah. Now, to go back though, I need my single vanishing point. And I stop at the back. Oh, I hope the back. Oh, aren't we lucky? I hope you're lucky. I hope so. Because this, you see, if that corner was under there, I couldn't have a back to my chair. Or not this way, anyway. See, because this is the back corner of my chair. So that's a good thing. I didn't plan for that. It was an accident. Shouldn't have said that out loud. It's all by design. That was close, a close call. And now I just need this to join up the rest. Okay, so that's our seat of our chair. That's the edge of our table. We'll have to do a really neat chair so that they don't look like they're lining up. We'll have to do something back there. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good, excellent. Now for the back, it's 3 feet. So we already know what 2.5 feet is out here. This is ripply, so I'm going to make a straight line. We already know what 1.5 feet is. So we can just do this. We don't have to measure against the wall. Sometimes you can measure with what you've already got here. So here's 1.5 and 1.5 is 3. So that's 3 feet right there. I can use that as and use my vanishing point. There, so there's the back of my chair. But it has thickness, so I'm going to give it quite a bit of thickness. So we can maybe put an angle. So see how thick I made this? And that's so I could make an angle for my back and an angle for my leg. So it went in a little diagonal along that box. So let's put it nice and thick. Now, to do that, maybe I'll switch up my colors. We need a vertical. This is a really thick back, but I think we'll be happy we have it next week. Next time. Oh yes, we don't have class next week, so. Now, how am I doing this? Right there. Okay. This is not a good color.
Miss, how did you determine the thickness of the bag?
I just guessed.
Okay.
Yeah. So mine, if I were to take it to the floor though, I could tell you mine. It's just before that corner. I don't know if you can see, just before that corner there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm hoping it's going to be nice for us, but I don't know. We can always change it up when we get there. Actually, I should say I estimated. Guessing doesn't put a lot of confidence in anybody, does it? Now I'm bringing all the front measurements to the back. And when I hit the seat, at the back, when I hit the seat, I go straight up, and that will give me everything I need. There. I'll just go straight across. There. So that's a pretty strange looking chair, but we'll get it all sorted out when we get back and start putting some details on it. Now, if we want a higher desk, if this is looking, see, you know what would be interesting to find out is how, that would be interesting to find out. Let's see, we could find out how much space. See, the amount of space between the desk and the table is this much. So this is 2.5, this is 1.5. So that should be a foot. So we've got a foot here. So that's plenty. We got a foot. But if we want to add on top of the table, we can do that. If we want to do that when we get back. So it's 2:15. If you want, we can do one more thing. And then I'll let you go. Or would you rather go and get working, you know, put your finishing touches on? Everybody's good if we go ahead?
Yep.
Okay, okay, good. So let's put a light on the ceiling right above the center of our desk. I don't know if you'd ever see that, but we could try it. So let's make an X here from corner to corner on the floor, or at the top. Should we do it from the top of the table? It might be easier from the floor. Yeah, let's do it from the floor. It might be easier. But there's so much going on there. Let's do it, try it from the tabletop. So we're going to make an X on the table. Very lightly, don't go too dark. So we have to have a quiet drawing here. There. So there's the middle of my table. And I'm going to bring it, use my right vanishing point and bring it to the edge of the table. Okay, how are we going to do this now? And bring it across. Now this is at 2.5. So if I use my right vanishing point, bring the center of the table over to the wall, here's 2.5. And if I go up to the ceiling and bring that across, and bring a vertical up, do you see that box? No, that's not 2.5. What am I thinking? There's 2.5. I have to bring 2.5 over. I think I'm making it complicated. Okay, this is better now. So the first thing we need to do is take 2.5 feet that we marked for our table and bring it across so that we can find where 2.5 meets the middle of the table. When we made our X, we found the middle of the table, and here. So that line I did is wrong, but I might leave it. I might leave it because we can use it. So let's go up now to here with our orange line, and we'll use our vanishing point, our right vanishing point. So there now is the box for the center, and let's go one box over. We'll bring that up. This line we don't need. Did that make sense to everybody? We made an X on the top of the table to find the middle. So there's the middle of the table. Then we wanted to bring it to the wall. So we had to take the height of the table to the left vanishing point to see when I cross this over where it would hit the wall. And would up the wall and want to cross, but we also want to make the light wide. So we added another foot. At 2.5 feet, we added another foot, went up the wall to the ceiling, and brought that across. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to bring a foot over on the other side. So there's another foot. Brought that up and bring that over. So we get a light that's 2 feet wide. That's a big light. There. That's 2 feet.
The midpoint that you took it to the wall of the table, yours is aligning exactly on 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's like exactly on the division, right? Mine is not coming on the division.
Oh, so you've made your X, and maybe you just didn't make it go far enough. See, so once I made my X, I used my right vanishing point. You did that?
Yes.
And did you make a line on the wall at 2.5 feet using your left vanishing point?
Yes.
And you
I
brought, and then you went back to your right vanishing point and brought the center of the table over to the wall?
Yes.
Oh, and it didn't touch the 2.5?
No. I mean, it is touching, but the problem is that it is not touching on either of the divisions.
Oh, that's okay. That's
okay?
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Yeah.
So how will I get the light? Because on top, you took 1 feet on left, 1 feet on right. It was easy for you because you had the division right there.
Yes. So supposing mine stopped here. If I were to choose a foot from there, I would just add that to my foot. So I would just say, okay, I'm going to take that foot plus a little more. See? There's that. So instead of just that, I would add a little more.
Okay.
You know what? You could even take the closest foot to it and bring it over. You could do that. So there's my mark. Yeah, you can just bring it over.
That works. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. I didn't realize that could... Yeah, I should have known that was going to happen. Now, this line is too long. That line is too long. It should only go to the center because that's the center of the table. So see the box? It goes from the center of the table over to 2.5 feet on the wall, up the wall to the ceiling, across the ceiling. Then there's the middle. That's the middle of the light right there. And now we want to add a foot on either side. How do we do that? So we bring this down to the floor, bring that down to here. Okay. Okay, so that's where it is on the floor. So the next thing to do, see how where this lined up with the 2.5, bring that down to the floor. Mine is at 4 feet, so I come forward until I hit the center. See, this center line goes all the way down to the floor. Now, if I want, so if it's 2 feet that way, I've got sort of half a foot and half a foot, 1 foot. I need another half a foot and another half a foot. Is that right? No. So that's going to be, that's about 1/3 of a foot. So you need another 2/3. 2/3. So 2/3. I need another 2/3. Or you know what we could do? We could just try to make it look good, but we'll do it properly. So I don't want to get too complicated though, or I'll lose everybody. So I was thinking if this is 2 feet that way, we'll have it go 2 feet this way. So I'm trying to find, first of all, I take the center line. There's the center line of the table. There's the center line on the ceiling, right there, my orange line. I brought it down to the floor. It goes to 4 for me and up. Okay, there's my box. So I want to put a foot behind that and a foot in front of it. So I've got about 2/3 of a foot here. I just need another 1/3. And I've got 1/3 here. I need another 2/3. So along the center line, if I bring this straight up, I'll have a mark there. And if I bring this straight up, I'll have a mark here. So let me explain that better. Okay, so this is the center of my table, and I brought it back to the wall at 2.5 feet, and then I brought it up to the ceiling, and I also brought it down to the floor. So this makes a box, and for me it's at 4 feet. Now, so to position the center of the light was easy. And for me, it was easy for me to choose 1 foot beyond this for my width and another foot beyond this for my width. So I have 2 feet wide that I brought up to the ceiling. Use my left vanishing point and I brought it across the ceiling. Now I want to find 2 feet, 1 foot from the middle this way, 1 foot from the middle that way. So on the floor, this was in between 2 boxes for me. So I have 1/3 of a foot here and 2/3 that way. That makes 1 foot. Then I have 2/3 of a box this way and 1/3. That makes the 2 feet. And then I brought them straight up to my center line, because all this work is on my center line. And then I brought it up, and now I've got 2 marks. And I'm going to use my right vanishing point to draw that, to draw up there. So, now that was very complex. So there would be a light on the ceiling right above the center of the desk that's 2 feet wide. I think I skimped. It's 2 feet wide and 2 feet deep. Did that make sense for everybody?
Yep.
Oh, yay! That's good. Okay, excellent.
Did you use the left vanishing point for the lines on the ceiling?
Yes.
The light? Okay.
Yeah. Now, if you want to bring that down, you can bring it down into the room. Say you wanted a square light to come down into the room. You would just do that and decide how you bring your 4 corners down and decide how thick you wanted it to be. You could decide on one side, and then wherever it crossed a vertical, you go the other way. Then we'd have a square light that we could make into a circle because it's square. We could do that or not. Okay, so I promised you I would give you some time, and it's about 2:30 now, so at least you'll have an extra an hour and a half to put finishing touches on. I'm sure you're working on many things. And if there isn't any question, does anyone have any questions? Everybody's good? Okay, well, don't lose this now. We'll pick it up when we get back after the reading week. And I hope you have a terrific reading week and get lots of work done. I haven't given you any, so don't worry, there's nothing due. Just that grid. Make sure you bring that grid with you. And I'll put everything in the announcements. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Should we put these in the Padlet?
Yes.
Or...
Yes, please. Yes. Yes, please put them in the Padlet. I think it would be a nice way to start our first class back. Thank you for that. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Miss, actually, if when you're trying to upload the picture in Padlet, they're saying it's private.
Oh, maybe I did it wrong. I'll go and fix it. Thank you. I'll go fix it. Yeah, I must have done something wrong. Thank you for telling me. it is. I didn't change it. I'm sorry. Okay, should be able to now.
Yes, it's accessible now. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna see if I did that with the other one. I hope I didn't. No, the other one I did okay. I don't know why. I forgot. So many things to remember. Okay.
Miss,
Mm. Mm.